Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, a couple of things before I get started this morning. Well, the first thing I need to do is say thank you to It's a Bling Thing. I believe that you will follow me over on TikTok. And I want to thank you so much for contributing to the Library Pantry. I appreciate you, sister. Now, with that said, I want to talk about a couple of things. If, in case you are not following me over on Instagram, remember I just got started over there. I'm struggling over there a bit with both with followers and with comments, like, shares, that kind of thing. And so I'm trying to build my following up over there. So if you all can head over there and follow me at woke.gardner over on Instagram, I would definitely appreciate it. Also, too, if you are not following me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to rebuild my TikTok. I don't have a whole lot of faith in TikTok these days because, you know, they're so insistent on suppressing Black people. You know, I have 30,000 something followers over there, and there's no reason why I should be as suppressed as I am. But if you all go over there, like, I'm going to post this video over there, and if you like it, comment, share, and really engage with it, maybe you can push the algorithm in my favor a bit. But like always, YouTube, here I am. And look what came. I know I shouldn't have chose pink, but you know, it's just this thing. Pink is my favorite color, and my brain does this thing when I see the color pink. I immediately gravitate towards it. And I should have chose a darker color, but this is the list. This is what is going to be known as the list. And this is going to be our book of Black professionals. And it's going to go state by state by state. And then we can work on city by city by city. So if you're over in the room is where we are going to be compiling this list. And I will leave the link to the room down in the comments. Please remember that the room is a place for Black people to meet up and have discussions and to talk and to just be Black. If we cannot tell that you are a Black person by your Facebook profile, meaning you have it locked down, or we look at it and we just can't tell, we have to, or if it was just created also too, because white people will do that trying to get into the room. They will create a whole new profile. We cannot let you in. I'm sorry, but we can't. This is one of the ways that I keep those Black people in that room safe, so that they feel safe discussing things that are important to them in a truthful, honest way. We need that space. That's the whole reason for that space. So please don't get offended. Please don't DM me about it. I don't want to be DM'd about it. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. But over in the room, we are compiling this list of Black professionals because, listen, I know that if it was hard for me to find my Black woman doctor here in South Carolina, that was very hard for me to do. I know that other Black people struggle too. I know you may struggle finding a good Black lawyer, or a good Black realtor, or a good Black baker, or someone to work on your HVAC, good skilled tradesman, a good mechanic, a good detailer, a good Black landscaper. If we are serious about building up the Black community, creating generational wealth for our own communities, because we can do that by ourselves, right? Right. Surely Black people are deserving. The descendants of slavery are worthy of reparations. Those reparations should be paid, but we shouldn't be sitting around waiting on them when we can be building up our own communities and keeping our dollars as black as possible for as long as possible and circulating within our own communities for as long as possible. If white people can do it, so can we. If the Latinos can do it, so can we. If the Asians can do it, so can we. If the Hispanics can do it, so can we. If Middle Easterners can do it, so can we. If South Island Pacificers can do it, so can we. Black Americans can have our own businesses and community. And the only reason why we don't do that is because we have been talked out of it by white supremacy. And that's just the truth. We have been taught to not support each other and to turn on each other whenever we get the chance to do it. And so for those of us that know better, that think deeper, and want to support our own communities and each other, this is what this is for. Think about it like the Green Book, a version of the Green Book, only it's for the room and only it's black businesses. Now, I would appreciate it if you were inclusive of black people that you have done business with. We don't want to put black people in here just because they're black. I think that there are lots of black businesses that depend on black dollars, but do not respect the community. You know what I'm saying? They're not showing up on time. They're not doing a good job. They're not professional. They're not respectful. And we want to keep those black businesses out. So that's why we want to put in here black businesses that you have dealt with personally. And I'm going to compile them all in here. And that way, when we're over in the room, you can say, hey, black people. Hey, Will Gardner. I need a black mechanic. And I'm in New York. What you got? And I can go to the state. I can look it up based on another black person's recommendation. And there it is. You got it. Right now, I'm struggling to find a good black female therapist in the Columbia, South Carolina area. When I find her, I will put her inside here. My own doctor, who I really struggle to find, and she is phenomenal at what she does, will be going in here. So will my black realtor. So will my black HVAC guy. So will my black attorney. So will my black mobile mechanic. They will all be going inside this book so that other black people can reach out and find them too. Okay. That's what the list is. Oh, by the way, if you're good with graphics, y'all got my P.O. Box. If you could put something like the list, make something nice, a cover for this, and where it's a list, the book of black professionals, I'd appreciate that. I'm not good with that stuff. Help me out. Okay, now let me tell you what I really want to talk about today. I think that this will be an amazing resource for the black community. I do, and I hope it works out well for us. Anyway, listen. The big beautiful bill is having a consequence that for some reason people didn't see coming. People thought that when they cut Medicaid that it was going to affect just black and brown little childrens. You know, I did this TikTok about 2 years ago. And in the TikTok, I was saying, look, y'all need to watch out for y'all elderly people because they out here, they can't drive. I'm seeing them in the grocery stores. They struggling. They having a real hard time. And for whatever reason, what I said in that video really struck a chord with white people. Got to the point where I lost complete control of the post and I just let them have it. White people took over that post and they started telling their horror stories about why it is they don't fuck with their people no more. Meaning their grandmas and grandpas that I'm seeing out there that need all of this help. Because in the black community, one thing you gotta say about the black community is that we tend to take care of our elderly. We tend to be more in community in that way. Not all of us, But collectively speaking, for the most part, yeah. We take care of our mamas and grandmamas and whatnot. And you don't really too much see them in nursing homes. You know where I'm going with this, right? So they just told story after story after story after story. And as long as they weren't racist, I just let it stand. And meanwhile, the black people, we just kind of sat back and we just kind of listened to these stories. Well, these are the same people, because you always want to say, these are the same people now that are doing all these videos about how they work. They have stuck their relatives in homes. And now, because of this big, beautiful bill, all these nursing homes are calling these people up because that big, beautiful bill goes into effect in February. That's when these Medicaid cuts start to happen. Sometimes I get Medicare and Medicaid confused. I mean to say Medicaid. And remember, there were black people not too long ago, just last month, that were trying to inform people that didn't think they had Medicaid, that they in fact had Medicaid. It just wasn't called Medicaid. It was called something else. Like here in South Carolina, I believe it's called Healthy Connections or Healthy Care Connect or something along those lines. And that's in fact Medicaid. It's just not called Medicaid. Like how some people thought that they had the Affordable Care Act, but they actually had Obamacare. I don't have Obamacare. I have the Affordable Care Act. Remember? That's these same kinds of white people, y'all, that I'm talking about, that didn't realize that they had Medicaid. And they, in fact, have Medicaid. It's just called something else. Well, they're getting all these phone calls from the care facilities that they have stuck their elderly people in. And their mamas and their meemaws and shit. And they're saying, you're going to have to come and find some place, come and pick up your people and all of their shit and find some place else for them to go. Because of the big, beautiful bill, this facility will no longer take Medicaid patients. Talk about fucking around and finding out. These people voted for this. You say, I didn't vote for that. Yeah, you did. If you voted for Donald Trump, third party, or not at all, you voted for this. You 100% did. You voted for this. You know how at the end of my videos when I said if you cannot help, at least don't hurt? I try to put that into people's minds so that people can think outside of themselves, get acclimated with thinking outside of ourselves, because the world doesn't revolve around us. There are other people to consider, other people to think about. When I cast my vote, I voted for everyone. Everyone. And some people only voted in the best interest of themselves. Well, apparently they didn't even do that, because they work and now they have to find care accommodations for their people. And let me tell you, being a caretaker, a care provider ain't easy. It's not easy. Some of those people need round-the-clock care, or round the clock. Somebody gonna have to quit their job to stay home with me, Mom. The person who signed them in is the person that's responsible. Buckle up, Buttercup. We just in the beginning stages of how your vote has destroyed or is destroying this nation. This is one of those things that I'm not saying that black people won't be affected, because not, again, like I said, not a lot of us tend to stick our people into care facilities. First off, we can't afford it. First off, most of us just can't afford that. And then secondly, like I said earlier, most of us tend to keep our mamas and grandmamas and them at home. Somebody checks in. Somebody takes care. Even if the family got to take turns dividing up the responsibility for their care. we figure it out. And this is another example how elections have consequences. And while I do not celebrate this, because it's sad all around, this is what happens when a nation's education is defunded and people can no longer think outside of themselves and or critically can't see the forest through the trees, can't think on down the line, can't think about what tomorrow is going to bring as a consequence, a result of this vote. And they thought it was going to affect all these other people, and here they are. Their farms are fucked up, and now they got to deal with their old honorary ass daddies and granddaddies and shit. Elections have consequences. This is just the beginning. This man has not been the president for a whole year yet. And look at how they are tearing down this nation. The poor will get poorer and the rich will get richer as long as this administration is in office. And that's just the truth. With that being said, do something nice for someone today. Get yourself in the habit of thinking outside of yourself. There are others to consider, not just you. If you cannot help, don't harm. Be righteous. Have a righteous day. And if you would like to donate to the Library Pantry or to this platform or just buy me a cup of coffee, I would certainly appreciate it. I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments along with the link to the room. Y'all have a good day.